The 300 richest people in Ireland have 87 billion between them. Why don't we just take a chunk of it and solve the housing crisis? The Sunday Times Rich List shows that the 300 richest people in Ireland, only 300, have between them 87 billion in wealth. 87 billion is enough money to build 800,000 houses. I mean, you could take 25% of their money off them and build over 200,000 houses, solving the housing crisis in one fell swoop. 200,000 houses would mean no more homeless on the streets. The 100,000 people on public housing waiting lists would have a home. And even people who wanted to buy a house. Such an increase in supply would decrease prices for everyone. And it would also bring down rents. Those 300 richest people, to make the bottom of the list, to come in 300th place, you need a minimum of 57 million. And the rich are getting richer. 87 billion is 10% more than they had last year. But that's the way the system works. The people with money get to make more money. I mean, think about it this way. Think about all the people affected by the housing crisis. The 100,000 on public housing waiting lists. The 10,000 homeless, not to mention the 4,000 children. Or even people who are in mortgage arrears, or worried that they're going to be evicted by a vulture fund. Now, slightly upsetting 300 rich people by taking a percentage of their wealth and saving tens and tens of thousands of people from the stress of the housing crisis. Well, that seems to me a fair deal. And who are the richest people? Well, number one on the list is the Weston family. Friends to the royals. They play golf with celebrities and aristocrats. They're known as the first family of taste. Well, they've got 11.9 billion. They own Brown Thomas, Selfridges, Pennies. The Canadian branch of the family controls over 200 businesses. People may remember the Rana Plaza collapse, where a sweatshop collapsed. Well, that place was making clothes for pennies. After intense criticism, they signed up to the Bangladesh Accord on Fire and Safety. But factories are only audited at the final stage of production, not in the earlier first and second stages. And pennies outsource to companies that they can then claim they have no responsibility for. In 2008, they were caught paying children 60 pence a day in some of these factories. It was only when the BBC did a documentary on child labour that Pennies decided to drop Fab and Fabric, the company that was employing the kids. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't shop in Pennies, because if you're broke, like me, it's the cheapest place to buy clothes. The working class people are forced to shop in places like that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that the Weston family have made their billions by exploiting workers, including the labour of children. People in India and Bangladesh who work for them live like this, while the Weston family get to live like this. So you take 25% of the Weston family's wealth, they've still got 8 billion. You take 50% of their wealth, they've still got 5 billion. Now, being a billionaire 5 times over, I'm sure is still a very comfortable way to live. But then again, every billionaire is a thief. The only reason employers hire workers is because we generate our own wage and we generate wealth for them. If they pay you 28,000 a year in wages, you can guarantee you're making about 28,000 for them in profits every year. How much time does 87 billion represent in hours of work, in stolen labour from working class people? Well, 87 billion is over 3 million years of work. Capitalism is a machine for stealing wealth from working class people and putting it into the pockets of the likes of Dennis O'Brien and the Weston family. Well, I say take the cash off the billionaires. They stole it. I say let's make 300 people unhappy to satisfy the needs of tens of thousands. And I say if the political system and the landlord party stand in our way, then we need a revolution.